Deafheaven Live, Gatecreeper Live, Most Played Artists of the Month, Sleep Token, Behemoth, and I'm gonna tell you about two metal bands you've never heard of. Death Metal Pug is next. Welcome back to Death Metal Pug. I'm Mr. Puggle. I want to be a rock star when I grow up. The purpose of this is to have fun and talk about music. If for some reason we can help out your band, project, or business, please reach out to us at deathmetalpug@gmail.com. I'd like to thank Chris Barnes for being on last week's episode. You want some of this apple? You've not heard of these guys. Check out the band Ignominious. I watched a video on how to say the name, so break out your SAT Trapper Keeper. Ignominious are a party death metal band formed in 2021 from Ohio, known for fun song themes. Their music is a brutal blend of death metal intensity and groove-laden riffs with fun interjected. Their energetic performances and commitment to the underground metal community have solidified their reputation as a formidable presence in the genre. The name means like disgrace or shame. Their Omni-Death debut EP, released December 30th, 2022, is an awesome, fun listen. Happy New Year! I can just listen to that less than 20-minute album over and over. There's tons of replay value. Their best songs, in my opinion, are the awesomely themed ones like Tractor Smasher. I think everyone loves the song Tractor Smasher, which incorporates like big, chuggy tractor themes into the music. Which is totally awesome. The song starts with like this little Texas two-step, and then this awesome down-tuned guitar riff. It's the best song that they've written to date. Just a big speaker blast with the kicks kind of like on this monster, just kind of blowing it out. The song Tractor Smasher is about running someone over with a tractor, enough to kill them in a cornfield. It's not as hokey as it sounds. It really is great. Their second best song is called Huge Alligator, and it is not a metaphor. The vocalist shines best here, not only in delivery, but also in his rhyming lyrics. Two of the songs on their new 2025 EP, 400 Tons of Flesh, which is seems oddly specific to me. Two of the songs were already released, including Huge Alligator. All four songs on this thing are awesome. The song Forklift Frenzy kicks this thing off, and it just has like this perfect riff to go with the tune. The topic of the song Forklift Frenzy is... I think you get the shtick now. Sludge in the Mud is another song. I don't think I can talk about the lyrics on that one on the tubes here, but it is a great song as well. Now I know some of the songs have jokey themes, but it never takes away from the death metal, right? It's a new band, so you can put their whole discography on an entire playlist and just kind of set it up that way. You know, it's really, really great. Ignominious' new album, 400 Million Tons of Pug, is out now. Will you hold this eclipse in me? I finally bit the bullet and listened to Sleep Token. I told my producer that I would listen to the new album all the way through at least twice. Sleep Token is a British alternative band formed in 2016. The band members perform under masks and pseudonyms. Their unique blend of genres has garnered them a devoted following. The band's music combines alternative metal, post-rock, metal, progressive metal, and indie rock pop with themes of love, loss, and religion. Do you think that's true? It's just like a guy and a piano, right? The singer goes by the stage name Vessel, while the band's drummer, bassist, and guitarist are known as 2, 3, and 4, respectively. My producer and I have had a lot of discussions about this band and the new album released in May called Even in Arcadia. So I'm not sure why there's so much crossover in our genre, because it's not metal. It's not, like I only listen to Slayer kind of way metal, but it's not metal. Slayer! It's not metal, it's obviously overproduced in a kind of a pop song kind of way. At its core, I guess, and due to marketing, things got a little mixed up feeling to me. But I didn't realize like the Vessel guy was a singer, right? And a lot of times I'm like, are those drums real or are they not, right? Because we get like samples and we get like maybe real drums or program stuff or something like that, or ones that are made to sound like it. So sometimes it just bothered me maybe not being able to tell. I'd have been comfortable like, yeah, these are fake. No, this is not fake kind of thing, right? But it's just old guy stuff. Like, it probably doesn't fucking matter. I did hear the Carmel song before the album was released, and I non-ironically like that song. It is just so sticky sweet. My head to my feet, yeah. Stick to me like caramel, yeah. Did you see that Slaughter to Prevail Bear song? I've never really been much into those guys, but I thought that song kind of rocked. What did the guitarist even do on stage during the concert? As I've gotten older, now reaching the ripe old age of 63, I understand that like gateway bands are needed. You don't just wake up one day and listen to Nile. It's a progression of heavy music. Most people stop at Metallica, right? And some of us keep going. We keep looking for like heavier and more exciting music. I gotta give Sleep Token a little bit of credit for like the sometimes non-traditional song structures, if you will. Kinda, but it gets a little like samey, I find, from time to time. It's like fire a fucking ripper of a solo in there or something once in a while, right? Like let's mix this thing up. The guitar crashes, like those heavy, like down-tune riffs. It just sounds like Meshuggah pops into the piano music, for like 20 seconds. But like the guitar crashes, they like come either like midway through the song or like just at the end of the song, and then as you're going through it, it becomes like kind of predictable. The song Damocles, it sounds like a straight ripoff of something. I can't put it together, but it does kind of work. I do probably enjoy that, like maybe the second favorite song on the album, right? This is in the adult contemporary category, this song. I could see this like being a karaoke song down the road or at an airport lounge, hit, kind of cliche, years from now type of stuff. Why doesn't he just like full Panic at the Disco this thing? I can't even remember like tracks 3 and 4, dude. Like I said before, I'm an old metalhead, so if I like faked liking this thing, I think that'd be weird. I'm all about innovation and new stuff, and don't get me wrong, like the next generation needs bands as well. All right, I talked about Sleep Token. Can we talk about cool shit now? Let's go over my most listened to albums in April 2025. One of the bands I listened to most in April was Scalpature. Scalpature is a German death metal band formed in 2009. The band's name was chosen for its impactful and brutal sound without a specific meaning. Wait, so they just made up a word? I guess Metallica's a made up word, isn't it? I would describe them as like a traditional death metal band, but on a larger scale. So think bigger stuff like Opeth or Dodsrit. They have a demo, an EP, and this album that I've been listening to, Landscraig, is their 4th album. Check out Death Metal Pug's 2025 Best Death Metal of the Year video to date for a more in-depth discussion of this band. I really like this album. Next most listened to artist in April was Ancient Death. They did not make the cut on the Best Death Metal Album 2025 video just because like it wasn't released yet, but it sure as fuck would have made it. I think Blood Incantation, Phobophilic is like reference points here. Good stuff with lots of replay value. We talk about them in this video where we jerk off Machine Head fans. We talked about Ancient Depth in pretty good depth on last week's video. If you happen to miss it, no worries, we'll catch you up now. Legion is the band I listened to the next most in April. I've seen this band like open for other groups probably 4 or 5 times over the years. I've always enjoyed them. They've always kind of felt like their next album was going to be a huge one for them, and this one's closer, but you know, we continue to wait for that big breakout. The song Wake Circling Above must be the song I like best because that was the one I played off of this album the most in April. We discussed this album as well in the best death metal year-to-date video. Why am I trying to send them to other videos? Won't they just leave this one? Meshuggah was my second most played artist in April, mostly, you know, due to the concert I was attending at the beginning of the month. Going over their catalog again fully, I've listened to a ton of Meshuggah in 2025, and I think it's been documented pretty well on these videos. The tour supported the Mutable album. The reissue of that album came out in April as well. Check out this video for cool concert footage. My most played artist in April was Deafheaven. Deafheaven is an American band formed in 2010 in San Francisco, California by vocalist George Clark and guitarist Kerry McCoy. The band is known for blending elements of black metal, shoegaze, post-rock, and alternative music, a sound often referred to as black gaze. Per my Google machine, Clark and McCoy were in a grindcore band before Deafheaven. Just found that kind of interesting. They broke the fuck through in 2013 with the Pink Pony Club colored Sunbather album. This cracked into like the hipsters and a few other things, even outside of the metal world a bit, like interesting niches where people knew this album. It is both simultaneously beautiful and nasty. Their last album, Infinite Granite, shifted more into just the shoegaze, I guess. I was reading in Decibel magazine where it seems the producer and the band like didn't sync up going in making the Infinite Granite album. I guess the producer thought he was making like a metal album, a black metal album, but it's not. I didn't like the Granite, the blue one. I tend to enjoy like metal music, but Deafheaven, they returned with a monster of album called Lonely People with Power. Their new logo looks like the ChatGPT logo. Not that it was created with AI, just like it looks like the ChatGPT logo. I listened to Deafheaven a bunch because not just the new album, but I went to see them at the beginning of May. Went down to the famous Metro of Chicago in Wrigleyville. If you don't know, the Chicago Cubs play baseball at a stadium called Wrigley Field. The surrounding area is referred to as Wrigleyville, and there's a lot of like fun stuff down there, like bars and restaurants and like things like that. So if you ever come to Chicago, go to a Cubs game. Even if you don't like baseball, right? Go to a Cubs game. If you're like, I don't like sports ball. It's a good time. So check it out. It's like one of the great things to do. A band called Trauma Ray opened the concert. Just a wall of guitars. 90s gaze, I guess, is what you would describe it. I think Trauma Ray sounded best when the songs were kind of grooving and moving and sounding like Helmet to me. The young singer needs to work on his stage banter. Yikes. He had like a hoodie on, the singer, and there's 3 guitarists, right? And he was one of the guitarists. He had his hoodie up, and like his hood closed over like his head and face, and then like his alpaca hair was like poking out. He's probably 17, so I'm not gonna go in like too hard here on the guy, of course. It was nice of Deafheaven to take him out. The one guy, the bass player, he looked like the guy, like the other guy's like dad, though. So he must have been like the parent supervision of the group up there, like kind of, you know, playing bass and keeping tabs on him and stuff. Speaking of beards, Chase from Gatecreeper has moved from mustache to full-on beard. In chatting with others at the show, there was a younger guy there, you know, younger people there at the show for sure, and he said that he liked the new Gatecreeper album better than the old stuff, which you know, I disagree with, but it's okay. I love seeing youth at these shows. There were these fucking guys there that were headbanging to Creeper like it was the end of days. There was this other guy there, and he had like a piercing in his upper cheek, and I was like, do you find that piercing inconvenient in your daily life? And you know what he said to me at the concert? What? Acid Bath came up. What is with like Gen Z loving Sleep Token and Acid Bath? Acid Bath? I have a theory, you know, it's like the shorts videos and like short attention spans. It's kind of like clicking and working for them and everything. I mean, I like Acid Bath, don't get me wrong, but like they love this shit. They're like vibing with it. It's kind of cool to see like a younger group pick out like a gem from like back in the day, right? You know, and in Acid Bath, they didn't get their due back then. So it's been like 30 years. They're back on tour now, going out, and that's why they're kind of like hitting the radar and making like waves and stuff. And you know, it's like it's crazy, like Acid Bath, and like no one's really like, you know, heard too much of it for like 30 years. Kind of like this show, right? Like nobody's gonna realize this podcast is good until like 30 years from now, right? Okay, it's a channel, not a podcast. All I gotta say is, Dr. Seuss's old Gatecreeper still sounds the best to me. I'm gonna level with everyone. I didn't really care for the last album. I like the Black Curtain song. It's kind of like a one-off song, if you will, but I did not think that album deserved like all the praise it got. I kind of used this album last year or so as a poser detector. I mean, I gave it multiple listens throughout the year. The praise for this thing, the new album, is just like, Gatecreeper album is so unanimous. Like everybody loved that thing, best thing ever. And I'm not trying to like have a reaction to people, you know, a lot of times in the male community, you're gonna tell me it's super great? Screw you, I don't like it, right? But you know, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that, right? You know, it just never stuck with me. Like I gave it multiple tries. It'd be like a change of season. Like, okay, let me hear it now in the summer. Let me hear it now in the fall while I'm raking leaves. Let me hear it in the winter. Like it just never clicked with me. And it never really, the new album just never like, you know, I never got it as like a masterpiece, if you will. And I didn't really care for the last one either, that Unexpected Reality album. You know, clever name with the pandemic and everything, but it's just like the songs were incomplete, right? For most of it, except for like the final song in the album, which was like this like 10-minute like just boring song slapped on it. You know, honestly, I don't think I've enjoyed that much from Gatecreeper since like 2019. But I do want to squeeze in another. I want to squeeze in another like bolt thrower reference. "Lost Forever" off the first album is my favorite Gatecreeper song. So do not miss that song if you can. Check that one out if it's, you know, been inadvertently skipped over. Energetic set though. They did play Black Curtain. They played a lot from the new album. Patriarchal Grip was a cool song. I want to say they played Ruthless, and they still end the show with Flamethrower. So don't worry, Flamethrower is still going to come up there for sure. This is a good band. It's been a good band. I'm just worried, like I think a lot of people have this concern is like we're moving into like clean vocals or something. But you know, they still had a lot of fans there, and it feels like, you know, they're still doing well. I thought it was a nice touch to like mix the bands up a bit. So Deafheaven, Gatecreeper, you know, I thought that was a good combo. I think they both like drew in their own crowds. Deafheaven headlined, and it was mostly the new album. I mean, they played most of it. Doberman and Magnolia kicked off the set. Amethyst was played. At the concert, George Clark told me that was his favorite song. As I referenced in a prior video, I do like this album a lot. It is a return to form. They did Garden Route during the concert. Stuff not from the new album that they did was Dream House, of course. I think it was the only Sunbather track that they did, if I recall correctly, and I think I do. I mean, they have that Dream House song like figured out. They're just like crowd interaction moments, and you can kind of tell like a little bit like they played it maybe 1,000 times, but just like good back and forth and kind of like a good vibe and like way to mix up that song, if you will. They also did the song Brought to Water off their second album, and that monster is awesome live. That was a cool song. I do not believe there were any Ordinary Corrupt songs played during this concert, but that's okay. I caught that tour a while back and saw most of those songs. Some of the starts from like Cold Stops are amazing. They did this, I think, at least twice, and it's very immersive. So Revelator was like a cold stop, I think. It just like fired into that song. And if you listen to that song, you'll kind of understand like how neat it is to kind of do that. The handsomest man on the stage that night, and hell, probably the handsomest man in the room, George Clark. He's dropped the black metal aesthetic thing like completely. So opting for like more plain clothes and what I can only describe as like a Deafheaven jersey. Yeah, it said like Cruel on the back. One of the incidental tracks was played live, and they brought the house down, just hammering on all the instruments, just like crashing down at once. So it just took those like interlude tracks, if you will, from it, the instrumentals, and they call it incidentals, and just like played one and kind of like just brought the heat with it, just like all the instruments kind of crashing down. As I say this, I realize like it's not going to be explained well, but they just like anteed it up and brought like, you know, all the kind of like chaos and guitars and stuff with it. So it was just done in a really cool kind of way. George Clark's voice in the mix is so cool, like how that can be done, right? Winona closed the set, and I knew that was an awesome song. I like that song the best from the new album. We actually put up a video in our shorts about that. That you can check out in the shorts section. It was a fun night, cool bands, and I am glad I went. Behemoth released an album, and I hear it doesn't suck. If we keep this recording chronological, and do we usually do that? And you've made it this far, and you're in the Chicagoland area, I invite you to reach out about sharing metal stories. We'd like to get like something kind of going, add another voice here to the channel. So, you know, feel free to reach out, deathmetalpug@gmail.com. At the end, I'll share my most played artists, albums, and songs in April 2025. I'm gonna be upfront with everything. That way, you know, people can see it and say like, hey, this guy, you know, isn't lying. Here's the stats and numbers and stuff like that. So, you know, check it out if you want to. All right, I have another recommendation for you. Chainsword released Chapter 12 on May 6th, 2025. Do you know about Chainsword? They're a death metal band from Poland, started about 10 years ago. Strong bolt thrower vibes, even with like, even more so with like the Warhammer and World War II kind of references. I was over at Johnny's getting a hot dog. I went into that Warhammer store one time, and I went in there, and it turns out like they're like little like guys, like little pieces that you like paint or something, and then you like play a game or something with it. There was a guy in there that was like really enthusiastic and passionate about it, and he was like, you gotta like get into Warhammer and like get these like little guys, and the little sets are like fucking $100 or something. And I was like, dude, I'm like a grown man. The new album from Chainsword is pretty good. Contemporary, the third track, hit me the most on the first few listens. It's just got like a cool, like varied, like midsection, which is like really good. The Forsworn track is also good. It has a different voice added, and the solos at the end are just great. Also on this new Chainsword album, the song Good Morning Vietnam, yes, that's the real name, is a rager as well. I didn't bother to look up the lyrics to see if it's about, you know, like that country's war, if you will. Overall, this album is like, in a good way, a bit chuggier than the last album. The prior album, Born Triumphant, it was a little bit of a letdown for me the first few listens. Born Triumphant, it just seemed a little clunky sometimes, like it wasn't put together the best. I like it a little better though, in hearing it today, so maybe I just had like a bad burrito that week or something. My absolute favorite album from them, and the thing that I'm most excited to talk to you about, is their 2021 album, Blight March. Blight March album is when Chainsword hit my radar, and I just want to make sure that you check it out. If you are at all vibing with the band Bolt Thrower, check this album out. Here, we'll do this, and then you won't have to like put the album on there or whatever. Is that working? It really is the most bolt thrower thing I've ran across since probably Frozen Soul, and who knows before that, maybe War Master or something. So check out Chainsword's Blight March. There's been some, cool tours around Chicago lately. So, shoot, Obituary was in town. We've had Fetus, Cradle, Undeath. Those last few were just part of that Chaos tour. I think I'm gonna, beginning in June, be able to hit up that Dragged Into Sunlight tour. I just don't think that's going to come around very often, right? And I'm going to check that out. And I'm curious about that Mesmer too. See if you can do like that howl growl thing, all badass. I want to check that out. And then we just found out a couple days ago that Black Braid's coming in town to Reggie's. So, oh man, please let that date, time, event work out for me in life. Dothritz is with them. Oh my goodness, they were one of my most listened to bands in 2024. Just such a cool band. Looking forward to that tour too. Thanks for hanging out. That's it. The Metal Boy.